Namaste. Let us discuss what are oxides and how they are classified. That is, oxides and classification of oxides on the nature. Now, we have an element, whether it will be metal or non-metal. So, whenever any element, metal or non-metal, when combines with oxygen, when combines with oxygen, then it results in a formation of a product. That product is known as oxide. That product is known as oxide. Now, if the taken element is a metal and it combines with oxygen, then the product form is called as metallic oxide. So, metal when combines with element, it forms metallic oxide. But if I have an element which is a non-metallic element, if I have an element which is non-metallic, so this non-metallic element when combines with oxygen, then it results in formation of non-metallic oxide, results in formation of non-metallic oxide. Now let us study how these oxides are classified. The oxides are classified into four different categories. That means based on their nature, we classify oxide into four different types. The first is acidic oxide, second is basic oxide, third is amphoteric oxide, and fourth is neutral oxide. So, on the basis of the nature of the oxide, we classify it into four different categories. The first is acidic oxide, second is basic oxide, third is amphoteric oxide, and fourth is neutral oxide. Now, let us discuss one by one each category of oxide with the reaction and what it means. So, very first I am having that is acidic oxide. So, what is this acidic oxide? So, the oxide which reacts with base or alkali, and forms salt and water, that is known as acidic oxide. So let me take example to understand this, what it means. Now I'll take here sulfur dioxide. I react sulfur dioxide with HCl. I react sulfur dioxide with NaOH. Now when I react with HCl, there is no reaction. But when I react with NaOH, I am getting Na2SO3 as a salt plus water. So NaOH is a base, Na2SO3 is a salt, and this is water. So a substance that reacts with base so as to form salt and water, that is called as what? Acidic oxide. So in this case, your sulfur dioxide is acidic in nature. So I am taking a neutralization reaction to understand the definition of acidic, basic, neutral, and amphoteric oxide. So sulfur dioxide I am reacting with both acid as well as base. But sulfur dioxide is acidic in nature, so it will react with base so as to form salt and water. Okay. Now, let me take another example here, carbon dioxide. I react with HCl, and carbon dioxide, I react with NaOH. So, when I react with HCl, there is no reaction. Because carbon dioxide is acidic in nature. But when carbon dioxide reacts with a base like NaOH, gives me Na2CO3 as a salt plus water. So, as a substance reacts with base so as to form salt and water, so this substance we call it as in what? Acidic. So, carbon dioxide is acidic oxide. acidic oxide. On the same ground, I can take it P2O5, phosphorus pentoxide. I react with NaOH as well as HCl. I'm just writing a reaction with NaOH over here just to understand the concept. So I am having here Na3PO4 as a salt plus water. So NaOH is a base, Na2CO3 is a salt, and this as a water. So there are two phosphorus, so I'll multiply here by 2. So 3 2s are 6, 6 NaOH, and I'll be having 3 H2O. So 5 oxygen here plus 6 oxygen here, 11 oxygen. I have 4 2s are 8 and 3 oxygen. So that's get balanced. So here acidic oxide react with base so as to form salt and water. Now let us continue. The second type of oxide, that is basic oxide. So what is this basic oxide? Basic oxide is that oxide which reacts with acid. So basic oxide is an oxide which reacts with acid so as to form salt and water. So oxide which reacts with acid so as to form salt and water, that is called as your basic oxide. So let us take an example of this category. I have sodium oxide. Now this sodium oxide, I'll take it in two different containers, and one I react with HCl, in another I'll react this with NaOH. Where I get salt and water formation, that will be the nature of that. So here Na2O reacts with HCl in order to give me salt and water. Okay, so HCl is an acid, NaCl is a salt, and this is water. So the taken substance must be what? Basic in nature. And as Na2O is basic in nature, won't react with base. So base, no reaction. Base, no reaction will happen. So here Na2O reacts with acid. Now I need to balance this equation. So here there are 2 sodium, I'll multiply by 2. And here also I'll multiply by 2. So the equation get balanced. So Na2O reacts with acid and gives me salt and water. That's why Na2O is basic in nature. Same happens with magnesium oxide. So magnesium oxide I'll take. I react with HCl. Magnesium oxide I'll react with NaOH. So here with HCl, when it combines, it gives me salt, that's MgCl2 plus water. When I react with NaOH, there is no reaction. Now let us focus here. MgO reacts with acid, that is HCl, and gives me salt and water. Hence, what is the nature of MgO? That is basic in nature. Then another one more example directly I am writing. Let me take copper oxide, CuO. This I react with HNO3. So I'll be getting here CuNO3 twice plus water. So to balance this, I'll multiply here by 2. The equation got balanced. Now look at here. HNO3 is acid. Copper nitrate is a salt, and this is H2 as a water. So taken substance will be what? Basic in nature. So oxide which reacts with acid. So as to give me salt and water, that is called as basic oxide. Now let us take third category of oxide, that is third type of oxide, that is amphoteric oxide. So what is this amphoteric? It's very interesting. Okay, now the oxide which exhibits or which shows properties of both acidic as well as basic oxide. So the oxide which exhibits properties of both acidic as well as basic oxide, those are called as amphoteric oxide. So let me take example for this category. We have aluminum oxide. So Al2O3. I react this with HCl, Al2O3, I react with NaOH. So when Al2O3 reacts with HCl, it gives me AlCl3 as a salt and water. So here HCl is an acid, I got salt and water. So first let me balance this. There are 2 aluminium. So 3 2s are 6 chlorines. I will multiply here by 6 and here by 3. Okay. Now Al2O3 reacts with acid so as to give me salt and water. So Al2O3 will act as here what? As a your basic in nature. Okay. Now let me take another reaction here. Al2O3 reacts with NaOH. It gives me NaAlO2 plus H2O. So to multiply here, I have 2 aluminium. So let me take here also 2 sodium, 2 sodium. Reaction got balanced. Now look at here. Al2O3, here it reacts with base. So as to give me salt and water. So what could be the nature of this Al2O3 here? In this case, Al2O3 will act as an acidic. Now, if you carefully look at, in this reaction, Al2O3 acts as base. In the second reaction, Al2O3 acts as an acid. So Al2O3 shows properties of both acidic as well as basic oxide. So Al2O3 when react with acid, it exhibits as a basic character. Al2O3 when reacts with base, at that time it exhibits acidic character. So Al2O3 we call it as an amphoteric oxide. Al2O3 we call it as an amphoteric oxide. Then another example in this particular category, I am having zinc oxide, that is ZnO. When reacts with HCl and ZnO when react with NaOH. Let me take here, when zinc oxide reacts with HCl, it gives me ZnCl2 plus H2O. I multiply here by 2. So HCl is an acid. I got salt and water. So the taken substance must be basic in nature. ZnO reacts with NaOH, which is acting as a base, so as to give me salt, that is Na2ZnO2 plus H2O. This is called as sodium zincate. So in order to multiply here by 2, I'll get 2 here. So oxygen, 2 oxygen here and 1 oxygen here, 1 oxygen here and 2 oxygen. So oxygen is balanced and rest every atom is balanced. Now ZnO reacts with NaOH, gives me sodium zincate, that's Na2ZnO2 as a salt and water. So what's the nature of ZnO in the second reaction? Acidic. So if you look at here, ZnO acts as a base when it reacts with acid. ZnO acts as an acid when it reacts with base. So here this ZnO exhibits properties of both acidic as well as basic oxide. That's why we call this as an amphoteric oxide. Let me take one more example for this, PbO. Okay. Now PbO reacts with HCl in order to give me PbCl2 plus H2O, and PbO reacts with NaOH in order to give me sodium plumbate, that is Na2PbO2 plus H2O. So in the first reaction, PbO acts as an basic oxide. In the second reaction, PbO acts as an acidic oxide. So these are called as amphoteric oxide. So please do remember that we have Al2O3, ZnO and PbO are amphoteric oxide are called as amphoteric oxide. Now, the fourth and the last category which we have, that is called as neutral oxide. That is called as neutral oxide. So what is this neutral oxide? So oxide which is neither acidic nor basic. That means this oxide do not react with acid also, they do not react with base also so as to form salt and water. So that's called as your neutral oxide. So amphoteric they may not be there only because amphoteric has to show properties of both acidic as well as basic, but this oxides do not show any property of acidic as well as basic oxide. Those are called as neutral oxide. So I have an example here to understand, that is carbon monoxide, okay, that is CO, nitric oxide, and water as a neutral oxide. So here carbon monoxide, nitric oxide, dinitrogen oxide also neutral. So this is called as your neutral oxide. They do not show any kind of ability to react with acid or base so as to form salt and water. Okay. Now, in general, what you observe so far, what we have discussed in this, we conclude. So in general, it is seen that metallic oxides are either basic or amphoteric in nature, whereas non-metallic oxide are either acidic or neutral in nature. So please do remember these 2 points which are written at the bottom here. Metallic oxides are either basic or amphoteric in nature, and non-metallic oxides are either acidic or neutral in nature. Thank you for watching.